Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Growth Show. My name is Mark. Today I'm speaking with Calvin Winters at Bird Dog Construction in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Calvin, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'd love to start just by hearing kind of what services you guys provide in the market and what is kind of your market area do you guys work in?
Sure. So we are a new home builder. We specialize in high performance new homes and then also remodeling. So we service, about within a 45-mile range of Green Bay.
Great. And so you guys got started in 2020. Interesting time to get started in a business, huh?
Yeah. So 2021 is when we officially founded the company. I actually was I was a procurement director. So I worked in an office and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I started a flip project. My wife told me that I couldn't be essentially working two full-time jobs. And so I made the decision to quit my government job and move into, self-employment.
Gotcha. What type of work were you doing in procurement?
Yeah, so I was doing procurement, contracts, purchasing, all for our local county government.
Okay, gotcha. And then did you have a background in construction or how did you kind of get into all of this and start the business?
So I didn't, I went to school for business and accounting all through high school. I took shop class, but never did anything in the construction field. I took on 3 houses of my own that I, essentially did the fix and flip and live in them and then move on to the next one. So that was kind of my background in construction, was just doing my own house renovations. And a lot of my friends and family were like, well, you're kind of good at this. Maybe you should, think about doing this as a job. I've always been kind of looking for a next opportunity, something like that. And they're like, well, you're good at this. Why don't you give that a try? So that's kind of how I kind of got the notion for what I should do, as far as getting a business started. And in order to flip houses, I had to have my contractor's license anyways. So I thought, why pay for all of this if I'm not going to be making, I have the opportunity to make other income.
Gotcha. How many people do you have on your team right now?
I am a sole proprietor. I have some other contractor friends who are also sole proprietors. So we kind of lean on each other when we need help. But I do have a very reliable network of subcontractors that I use, for our mechanicals, our framing, our foundations. So those subcontractors have been heavily vetted. They understand the way I want things, especially when we're doing, high performance, high end type houses and remodels.
Interesting. So, we talk with folks, kind of all different kind of types of business, stages of business, in the contracting space. Some have a lot of employees, some have just a few and subs. What's it been like to be sort of a sole proprietor? This is your main gig. You're the main person in the company.
Yep.
But to have subs do all of the different work, do you spend quite a lot of your day just sort of like working with subs, kind of managing them? What's it like it's an interesting kind of model to, for you to be really the head of everything and to have a fully sub crew, but building whole houses and remodels. How's that been working and what does your day look like in terms of working with those subs?
So it depends. I do, depending on what we're doing. New construction is very heavily sub-based. Obviously, as myself, I'm not framing full houses, that kind of thing. So, I'm doing multiple things. I'm, the CEO essentially. I'm doing the sales. But yeah, I'm also a project manager. So I am on site almost daily on our new builds to make sure that things are being done right. Because yeah, I do have the subcontractors heavily vetted, but there are times where things aren't being done the right way. So, you still got to keep an eye on people. I also do all the finished carpentry in our new builds. So I am not just a project manager. I am hands-on. I am there doing work. I'll lay flooring. I'll do, what needs to be done. If there's any framing changes that need to happen, I'm doing that. So on the new builds, I'm a project manager, but I'm also doing work. When you get more to the remodel side, it's me. I'm doing the demo. I'm doing the framing. I'm doing, all of that. That one's a lot less sub-based unless it comes to the mechanicals or, maybe our cabinetry or our stone countertops. But depending on what the project is, I'm more heavily involved from the labor side on remodels versus more of a project manager on our new builds. But being the only person, it allows us to keep our overhead really low. I don't have to worry about keeping guys busy, which is always a concern. Any sort of downturn, winter is always slow for us up here in Wisconsin. So I don't have to worry about keeping guys busy. I just rely on my subcontractors, which is kind of it's a business model that another builder kind of used before me. He's a friend of my dad's. He's kind of the one who got me started on the new builds, and it's a model that he used. He's been successful. He's been in business for 25 years. So I thought it was a model I wanted to try out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I noticed, we're taking a look, doing research, and we saw that you guys, really prioritize communication, punctuality, and quality craftsmanship. What does that mean to you, especially the communication and the punctuality piece?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times, even when I just show up for a quote to meet somebody, to look at their project, they say, I've contacted 5 contractors, you're the first person to show up, or, contractors who show up and then they never hear from them again. So starting that with the communication, the punctuality, making sure you're showing up on time. But I've also had plenty of people say that, in the process of doing a remodel, whether they've done something before or in a new build, that their builder never communicated what was going on, where the schedule is at, what's going on, if there were any delays or anything that came up that would push the schedule out farther. So kind of leaving the customer in the dark as far as what's going on with, a house is somebody's likely biggest investment they're going to make in their lives, and just, not giving them any updates as to what's going on, to me, is not acceptable. I would not accept that for myself if I hired somebody to do something. So I wouldn't expect, a client to deal with that either.
Well, got it. And then I saw that you named Bird Dog Construction from your deep passion of the outdoors and upland bird hunting, huh?
Yep. Yeah, I have 2 Brittany Spaniels. That's kind of where our logo came from. We actually, over the last few weeks here, we've actually started to rebrand. We've got a new logo that we're going to be, we got it kind of out on our Facebook pages and stuff. We're starting to make the change to our marketing materials, but we just kind of rebranded our logo. We wanted to give more of, I've had some feedback that my logo kind of looks like maybe a commercial construction company. We do some light commercial, but our primary focus is kind of that higher end, custom, high performance builds, and then also the remodels. So we wanted to tailor our logo to look more, of that higher end feel that somebody might expect.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And I saw that you guys emphasize using modern technology and techniques to kind of ensure customers, have a great outcome. What does that mean? The utilizing modern technology and techniques?
So when it comes to new builds, our foundation contractors, our excavation contractors, we're all using GPS systems for layouts, to make sure that we're getting the square building. I think the farthest we've ever been out on our foundations was 1 inch, which I think, as most people who would be watching this would know, that's pretty good and pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's great.
But then as far as the other things, we're focused on Energy Certified, which is, I would say, it's the Wisconsin equivalent of Energy Star. So our builds are high efficient. So we use LP WeatherLogic sheathing. We use the blown-in blanket insulation system. We use advanced air sealing techniques. Because water and air infiltration are the 2 biggest killers of a building, we make sure that you're not going to have that problem at all through the life of owning your home.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Well, what does the next year or 2 look like for you? I mean, are you guys in kind of growth mode, or you've got you're the main kind of GC and you're managing crews? Are you guys kind of on a steady pace, or are you kind of growing the business at this point?
I would say we're in a, I don't want to say a holding pattern, but we're not looking to grow a ton right now. We might want to add 1 or 2 more custom builds to our schedule from what we would normally do. We'd like to keep the remodels going too. That's the niche we started in. And like I said, it really is a niche. There's not a lot of companies out there that understand, how remodeling works or what can all go into it. Especially around here, we can, one day be in a house built 5 years ago, and then the next week we can be in a house built in the 1890s. So knowing the difference in how things were framed and built and constructed back then is way different than knowing how things were constructed 10 years ago. So we like to make sure that we keep that going, but also adding to the new construction portfolio as well.
Fantastic. Well, great stuff, Calvin. It looks like a great business. We saw that you guys got a lot of great reviews, and looks like things are moving really in the right direction. If folks are looking to get in touch with you guys, if they're in the Green Bay area and looking for kind of a remodel on a newer or older house, or looking for a new build, what are the best ways to get in touch with you guys?
Sure. They can go to our website. We have a contact page there. All our contact information is there, which is birddogconstructionco.com. We have a Facebook page, and then otherwise people can just reach out via phone as well, which our numbers are located on all those websites and social media platforms.
Perfect. Fantastic. Well, Calvin Winters, birddogconstruction.co. Go take a look at their site, and you can give him a call. They're also reach out on Facebook and Instagram. Calvin, thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule to teach our listeners some stuff today. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.